What's going on, guys? Moff here. I wanted to do a video today on the importance of being that guy when it comes to women, specifically the women that you want to date, be in relationships with, that you want to have romantic interactions, sexual relationships with, etc. So there seems to be, whenever I talk to guys or I'm working with a coaching client or guys in our private community, the School of Unplugging, whenever they're running into resistance from a woman, there's generally it's generally because there's a misalignment in sexual market value. So some guy might suggest to a woman, "Hey, like, why don't we meet for drinks at XYZ place? I'll pick you up." And she might say, like, "No, I figure I want to drive myself." Or like, "No, I don't really feel like drinking. I'm not really in the mood for that. I'd rather go to this place." Or he makes any suggestion like, "Oh, hey, why don't you come over to my place? We'll hang out. We'll have a bottle of wine. We'll grab a movie. We'll do the Netflix and chill thing, whatever." "No, I don't really feel like that. I don't feel comfortable with that," or that sort of thing. Or even when it comes to something like a woman giving resistance on whether she's willing to be intimate with a guy or have sex with a guy after a certain number of dates. A lot of women have this sort of 3-date rule. And the one thing that guys need to keep in mind when it comes to women is that if you are that guy, women will move mountains for you. If you are that guy, women will give you little to no resistance whatsoever. Right? You can pretty much guarantee that a woman out there who's making you wait into the third date to have sex or get intimate, whatever you want to call it, has almost certainly given it to some guy after the first date or even had a one night stand after a drunken hookup at a bar or something like that. So the only reason she is not giving you that same treatment or she is not giving you that same time and attention and effort is because she does not see you as high value enough. What a lot of guys think is that a certain type of girl needs to be courted or wooed or flirted with or treated differently. And you need to use some different types of game and you need to use different tactics and different lines and different logistics to essentially get a girl to go out with you or get her to be intimate with you and seal the deal, which is just not the case. All you really need to do is be that woman's best option. All you really need to do is be her top shelf guy in the sea of all these other guys. You need to be far and away the best possible option for this girl as far as your attractiveness, your status and captivation, your money and financial situation. She just needs to look up to you as quote unquote that guy. In a scientific sense, we call it, her hypergamous best. Essentially, women are designed to seek out and find the highest possible value man she can get. From a biological and evolutionary perspective, it's the one that's going to get her or give her healthy children. It's going to keep her safe. He's going to be the guy that can procure resources, protection, paternity, provisioning, right? You can give her healthy children, you can protect her from danger in the outside world, and who can provide, who can put a roof over her head, who can have money in the bank account, who can make sure there's food on the table, electricity, plumbing, all of that good stuff. Your basic three is generally what women are looking for in men. Some men can provide more and can give healthier offspring and are able to protect better than others, right? So it's all on a scale. And that's kind of what we talk about when guys will rate women on an SMV scale, SMV being sexual market value. Usually it's almost completely in terms of physical attractiveness. Oh, that girl's a 6, that girl's an 8, that girl's a 10. For women, it's not quite the same thing. For women, they take other factors into account. Attractiveness and physical attractiveness is certainly important and it comes into play. It's part of that equation. But there are other things in play as far as, the way you carry yourself, your financial situation, your charisma, the way are you captivating? Are you witty? Do you have a high status solid network? A lot of these things come into play when it comes to women. So I know it sounds simple. It's like, oh, well, how do I become that guy? Well, the great thing about being a man is that all you have to do to get the results that you want out of life, and especially when it comes to getting the kind of women that you want, is to be as high value as possible, is to make as much money as possible, to be in the best possible shape, to have a great network, to have great experiences, to be as charismatic and witty as possible, to be a great leader, to have a high degree of responsibility and accountability. Now, these things aren't easy. It's the hard things that make life worth doing. And it's the hard things that are going to reward you handsomely. But the cold hard reality is also this for guys that are listening. If you really want a woman who is going to respect your leadership, to fall into your frame, she is the passenger and you are the pilot or the driver or the captain or whatever it is you want to call it. She goes along with your decision making. She fully supports your mission and your purpose. She raises your children without complaint. She sees you as the greatest thing on the planet. She sees you're the best thing since sliced bread. You are that guy. Really, the only way you're going to be able to achieve that in this woman's eyes is that if her sexual market value, her SMV, is generally needs to be at least 2, if not 3 points lower than you. So that means if you've gotten yourself to where you as a man are a 5 or a 6, and you want a woman that's going to be head over heels for you and does everything that you want from a woman sexually or in a relationship, then you're mostly going to be dealing with 3s and 4s. Even if you're an 8 as a high percentage man, 8 or a 9, then you're still going to be dealing with 6s and 7s. This world that a lot of men want to live in, where they have this crazily hot model porn star looking girlfriend, um, where she's going to be the stay-at-home trad wife, housewife, and cook and clean and just be this model attractive woman. That reality doesn't really exist. Those women are going after legit tens. They're going after guys that you are not competing with. They're going after athletes and musicians and social media influencers and men that have tremendous amounts of social proof and status. Generally, they're famous or they have some sort of social clout that extends far beyond the average guy. So if you're finding a woman, let's say you're an 8 as a guy, and most guys are not 8s. Like, it takes a lot of work to get there. But let's just say in this particular situation, you're an 8. You might think, oh, well, Moth, like, I'm an 8, she's an 8. We're right on the same level. Doesn't that work out? And the answer to that is no, because women generally want to date across and up. She doesn't want to date a guy that's on the same level. So even as an 8, you will struggle as a guy to keep a woman around longer term, or you will struggle to keep her in your frame if she is not at least 2, maybe 3 points, um, at least 2 or 3 points lower than you on the SMV scale. So when it comes to dating for men, I think these truths are paramount for men to understand. If you want a woman who is going to completely surrender to you, who's going to look up to you, that leader, who's going to see you as her best, you have to be willing to understand and you have to be willing to reconcile the fact that that woman is probably not going to be your dream woman in terms of attractiveness. She's probably not even going to be the most attractive woman that you can get to like you or go out with you on a date or even to sleep with you. But if you're talking about long-term relationship material or mother material, potentially being the mother of your children, you should be considering women that are going to be a little bit lower than you. Now, again, as you increase your SMV on the scale, you will get better, more attractive women. Like, become a 9, great. You get yourself like a 7. But if you're a 5 and you're a 6, you're not willing to do the work that it takes to climb that scale, you're going to be stuck in this sort of no man's land that a lot of men get stuck in, where the women they want don't want them, and the woman that want them, they don't want, which is kind of the worst place to be. Like, being an average man, being a 5 out of 10 is the worst, because most guys don't want to date 3s, but the 7s that they think are attractive want no part of them, because the 7s are going after the 8s, 9s, and 10s. So that's point number one. So you have to be willing to reconcile the fact that this girl who's going to be this perfect stay-at-home trad wife, whatever, is probably not going to be the girl that is the most attractive to you. 2, you can get women that are going to be attractive to you, but you have to understand that the inverse is true. The likelihood that a woman that is going to be on the same level as you or even a point lower than you, it's going to be a lot more difficult to keep her around. You're going to have to jump through a lot more hoops. She's going to make a lot more excuses because she doesn't see you as a high value enough guy for her to make certain concessions. you might not be able to get to take home this girl on the first date, but if somebody like Leonardo DiCaprio or Chris Hemsworth or whoever is sort of the Hollywood hunk these days decides to walk into a bar and picks her, you can guarantee damn well she's going to go home with him on the first night because his value is high enough that she will make an exception for her quote unquote rule. All right. So women will make rules for betas and they'll break rules for alphas. So if you find yourself getting resistance from a woman, if you find yourself trying to game or date a woman or be romantic or intimate with you, and she's giving you pushback and she's giving you resistance, that doesn't mean you need to say different things. It doesn't mean you need to try a different line. It doesn't mean you need to use some sort of manipulation tactics to try to convince her to sleep with you or date you, or you need to lie and misrepresent who you are. It's just a clear indicator that she does not see you as that guy. And basically, you have two options at that point. One, you can keep trying and you can fight this uphill battle to maybe get this girl to see your value, but you're going to be putting in a lot of work. You're probably going to be jumping through a lot of the hoops, or you can just move on to other options that are going to see you as that guy and you can get the relationship that you really want. So, really, the choice is yours. But being that guy is something that every man should aspire to be. If a woman is giving you the resistance and she's not letting the relationship proceed in a way that you want, physically, romantically, sexually, etc., then she just doesn't see you as that guy and you need to go do some more work on yourself. If a woman who is seeing you as that guy, but maybe you're still iffy on her, that just means you can go and do the work for yourself. Everything is based around men doing the work, trying to increase their value when it comes to money, status, captivation, physical fitness, etc., because that's what's going to get you the best results overall. It's perfectly possible to have a woman that you are attracted to sexually, that you think is good looking, and that also falls completely into your frame, sees you as the leader. But all of that is predicated on the amount of work that you're willing to put in. All of that is predicated on the amount of work that you're willing to put in. And if you're willing to constantly increase your value on that SMV scale. So just wanted to leave you guys with that really quick. If you like this video, make sure to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel. I could be seeing a lot more of this stuff coming out. And we'll see you guys on the next one.